Crusoe's rescue of Friday from cannibals on the beach in the seminal Castaway tale initiates their friendship and master-slave relationship. A both Persuasion 1817 by Jane Austen. A trip to Lyme Regis is the novel's turning point, with Anne's response to Louisa's injury when she falls on the cob, authorial punishment for being a flirty, impulsive show-off, leading Wentworth to view the heroine afresh. The cob makes its second appearance in fiction 150 years later in John Fowler's The French Lieutenant's Woman. Slice of Lime, Ciarán Hinds as Captain Frederick Wentworth in the 1995 film adaptation of Persuasion. Photograph All-Star BBC. The Lady with a Lapdog 1899 by Anton Chekhov. Romance blooms on the seafront at Yalta between the jaded Muscovite and another holidaymaker, both married, but does it have a future? Often acclaimed E.G. by Nabokov as one of the greatest stories ever written. Death in Venice 1912 by Thomas Mann. Staying on the Lido, distinguished author Gustav von Aschenbach becomes the obsessive, besotted stalker of Tadzio, a pretty Polish teenager, observing the boy daily from his deck chair. Filmed 3 times, notably by Visconti in 1971 and turned into a Benjamin Britten opera, Mann's holiday novella is better known today than all his longer fiction. Within a Budding Grove 1919 by Marcel Proust. Proust's Parisian narrator decamps in the second book of In Search of Lost Time to Baalbec in Normandy, where he is attracted to a group of jeunes filles en fleurs on the sands, led by the bewitching, elusive Albertine. Their on-off relationship is at the center of all the sequence's remaining novels bar the last. Ulysses 1922 by James Joyce. As befits a book named after Homer's sailor, the great Dublin novel begins by the sea and the Martello Tower of Telemachus. In Nausicaa, 12 chapters later, dusk finds Leopold Bloom peering perversely at young Gertie MacDowell as she sits aware of his gaze with friends on rocks on sandy Mount Strand. A strong claim to be fiction's first masturbation scene outside porn. New Wave. Jennifer Jones and Jason Robards in the 1962 film adaptation of Tender is the Night. Photograph All-Star 20th Century Fox. Tender is the Night 1934 by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The most full-on instance of classic beach fiction, as its main setting is the French Riviera, where a love triangle, psychiatrist Dick Diver, his Zelda-based wife Nicole, starlet Rosemarie, plays out amid a set of American expats and tourists. Dick's decline is marked by how well he performs such seaside stunts as aquaplaning behind a speedboat and headstands on a diving board. First Love 1948 by Vladimir Nabokov. Also a chapter of his autobiography Speak, Memory. This is a mini-memoir of a 1909 family holiday in Biarritz, where the future writer played with Colette aged 9 to his 10 by the sea. It forms the template for similar scenes throughout his work, with the objects of desire always young but the male figures as in Lolita sometimes older. Gravity's Rainbow 1973 by Thomas Pynchon. A wartime Côte d'Azur holiday for Lieutenant Tyrone Slothrop is actually a means for the creepy British scientists observing the American to make him fall on the beach for a sexy Dutch-spied giant octopus supposedly menacing her as part of this bizarre honey trap. John Dugdale. This French opening to Part 2, which nods to Proust, transforms Pynchon's Second World War epic from a London novel to a European one. Slothrop escapes, and heads north towards Germany. The Sea 1978 by Iris Murdoch. Autocratic theatre director Charles Araby retires to write his memoirs in a seaside cottage on a rocky coast Cornwall, but the past becomes uncomfortably real when he runs into his first love from 40 years earlier in a nearby village. 27 years later, John Banville would use a not dissimilar setting and set up in another Booker winner, The Sea.